We have 2 more comics for you. How are you guys feeling? Yeah, let's keep this going. All right, your next comic, she tours all over. You can catch more of her comedy at DhayaComedy.com. I want you to make it very, very loud for Dhaya Lakshminarayanan, everybody. Make it loud.
Very nice. Give it up for Sam. Look, like no one comes up to me and is like, Dhaya, where's the cool party? Do you have any cocaine? Like no one ever asks me those friendly questions. They're more likely to be like, do you have turmeric on you? Where can I get some strong chai in San Francisco? Those are the questions. I'm very boring. I don't even smoke weed. I know, sad. I'm so sorry. I don't smoke weed because there's so much pressure involved. Like before the show, my friend was like, you should come smoke with us. I was like, no thank you, I have a show to do. No, but this weed has CBD in it. It'll relax your body. I don't want to be relaxed. I'm a type A Asian lady. No relaxing, that's not my brand. Oh, but this weed has indica, which is good for curing cancer and your anxiety. I was like, you're giving me anxiety right now. Peer pressure. But this weed was handcrafted by formerly incarcerated felons who are out on parole and work on this organic farm. Why don't you support them? I support. I just don't want any weed. I was at a party the other day and someone was pushing a pot brownie on me and I got very nervous and I did the only right thing to do. I said, no thank you. I am gluten-free. You don't want to mess up your mind, but you're fake-ass celiac. We're on board with that. I love weed culture, though. I'm into weed culture. Like, growing up, I would watch this cool documentary about weed. It had these 2 immigrants. They're working really hard. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Cheech and Chong's Weed. Amazing documentary. They're trying to make it in the industry. Life is against them. I love the movie so much because I'd watch it with my brother, and my mom would come in, and she would learn slang from watching the movie. Like one time she made dinner, and she's like, hey children, come to dinner. Who has the munchies today? Awesome. That's awesome. I met Tommy Chong, and I'm like, Tommy, you're amazing. My family watches your films. My mom learned English from watching your movies. And Tommy goes, where's your mom from? And I'm like, my mom is from India. And he goes, India? That's like my favorite religion. Tommy, always in character. I talk about Cheech and Chong so much that this organization found me. They're called the San Francisco International Comedy Film Festival, and they asked me to introduce the film and lead a Q&A about it. And if you haven't heard of the San Francisco International Comedy Film Festival, it was very poorly attended. But I showed up and I introduced the film, and afterwards I led a Q&A, and I was all excited, and everyone in the audience was really mean film critics. They had their arms crossed, and I was like, anyone have any questions? And this guy raised his hand and goes, I felt the film had no story arc. I was like, yeah, that's why you get high before you come to the theater. And this other woman raised her hand, and she's a feminist, and I'm a feminist too, but she was annoying. And she was like, I felt the film had no strong female characters. I was like, it's Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. There are no strong male characters. Mary Jane was the strongest. She was the whole film. As a lead actress. It's tough out there right now for immigrants like Cheech and Chong. I don't know if you've heard, a lot of people are like, go back to where you're from. Yeah, it's kind of mean, like go back to where you're from. And that frightens me because I don't want to go back at all. Because I was raised in Birmingham, Alabama. Frightening to me to go back to Alabama. I lived there until 12th grade. People are like, oh my God, how did you end up in Alabama? Well, my dad is a scientist, and in Alabama, they don't have math or science. So they imported brown people to figure it out. My dad was always like, use your imagination. Use your imagination. Because he just didn't want to buy us any toys. And I had this janky ass Barbie. It wasn't even American. It was imported from India. I was like, Punjabi or something. And my dad gave me a cardboard box. It's very sad. It was, you know, a gentrification Barbie. I don't know what her dreams were. But my dad hands me a Pringles can. He's like, try harder, use your imagination. I start crying. So my dad takes the Barbie, puts it in the Pringles can, puts that in the cardboard box, and he goes, there you go. It's MRI Barbie. Sad. There's always something wrong with that Barbie too. Like, you know, Ken was like, I can't afford these HMO payments. He was having an affair with Skipper. Very sad situation. People in the South were very religious. I don't have a problem with religion, but they always wanted to like give it to you. Like it was like a Groupon or something. And I was like, no thank you. They're like, if you don't believe, you are going straight to hell. What's hell? Is it kind of like being a Hindu in Alabama? I don't live in Alabama anymore. I live in California. My parents live in California. It's much cooler, much better. But I read this article a couple years ago where this 57-year-old man came from India to Alabama, and he came because he was visiting his son, and his wife had a kid, and the kid was special needs. So he came all the way from India to be with his son and his grandson. So he's walking around the neighborhood, and the neighbors call the cops on him. They're like suspicious-looking black man walking around in the neighborhood. Yeah, first of all, don't call the cops on anyone. But if you're gonna say he's a suspicious black man, at least eliminate Indian first, you know? Like go and be like, smells like vindaloo, not black, you know? Due diligence, you know? The cops come, really sad, he is unresponsive, they slam against the cruiser, he has to go to the hospital, breaks a bunch of bones, the Indian consulate gets involved, case goes to the jury acquits the police officer, very sad for this 57-year-old grandpa. And I tell my parents, I'm like, can you believe this? Aren't you glad that we don't live in Alabama anymore? They're like, oh my God, so horrible. 57 years old, already a grandfather. When are you going to make us grandparents? Not the point of the story. I have a lot of good men in my life. They're amazing. They're great guys. They're like, Dhaya, you're awesome. You're going to meet someone wonderful someday. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, because men love smart women. Yeah, silence. Yeah. Did too. I was like, what? They're like, no, men really love smart women, which I think is a generalization. You know, maybe some men do, but I think they were being nice when they said all men love smart women. I don't know about that. Because if all men really love smart women, you know Hooters? The two O's in Hooters would be joined by covalent bonds. I walked in on them, my guy friends, and they were whispering. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, nothing. I'm like, are you talking about women? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, what are you saying? And they called this woman a butterface. Yeah, I know, immature, right? If you don't know, it's like she's got a hot body, butterface. I know, immature. And I was like, hey guys, I would never do that to you. Hot body, butterface. I would never do that to you. The worst I would say is, okay, he's not that good looking, but he's a very successful software engineer. Like that is the worst I would say. And that guy's my type too. People are always like, oh my gosh, Dhaya, you're an Indian woman, stand-up comedian. Do your parents know? And I'm like, yeah, they know. It's not like I'm doing something wrong, like dating a white guy. You know, it's not a bad thing I'm doing. But they were like really excited that me and my brother get a good education. Like they were really aggro about it. So like when my brother was 3, my parents put him in something called spelling bee, which is spelling bee for toddlers. And Indians like to abuse their kids in this one specific way. So my brother gets up to the mic, he gets the word home, which is very easy, and he spells it wrong. He's like, home, H-O-M. That's it. He quits. My mom's in the front row praying to like 10,000 gods and Pat Sajak. Somebody give him an E. I'm on the side going, I'm the new favorite. My dad's in the back. He's very conservative. He was like, H-O-M. At least he did not put an O at the end. Okay, that's my And the Lakshminarayanan household, failure is forgivable, but it's just not forgettable. So my mom would come up to my brother afterwards and be like, hey, spelling bee champ, do you have any homework to do today? Would you like a home-cooked meal? My brother just graduated from Yale. My mom's like, hey, Venkat, when are you coming home for the holidays? My brother's like, that joke is funny now, but growing up I was so resentful, I tried to join a Mexican gang. And I was like, fine, go, go. Not even those homies will want you. Thank you so much.